Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome to this overview of the new DLC from Planet Coaster. This is the Studios pack. We're going to be oh my god! Starting off then with paths and path extras. Not much here to be honest with you, there's no new path. There are paints, terrain paints in the 1.6 update. By the way, if you're just looking for the free update, I'll do a separate video on that. This is just the stuff in the DLC. And then we have one lowly bin, looks great though, nice sort of standard sort of trash can style bin. It's going to be really useful for some backstage stuff I think. Okay, we've knocked the light down here so we can have a look at the new lights in the game. First off, a selection of sort of security, emergency lights and car lights as well. So these can go on top of the police cars. We've got taxis and then some sort of generic working and non-working emergency lights. This one I particularly love. That's got a really great pattern to it. I love that a lot. I love all these moving lights. These I think are going to be super useful as security lights. So we have a large floodlight and then a set of 4. I would have loved one of these on their own, but you know, I'm being pedantic now. This huge searchlight, which is really great for studio parts. Another couple of nice smaller lights here, sort of camera lights, I guess they are, but again, very useful. Then we have a set of traffic lights. These are all modular pieces. So the poles one, the arms one, the traffic lights are one as well. I'm a little bit annoyed. Everybody wants to use these in Pinewood, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get away with it. And obviously a lamppost as well. Again, these are modular pieces, so you can have that on its own. That you just saw sweeping in was one of these bad boys. These are absolutely fantastic. Moving lights, they look awesome, really nice bright beams. There are 6 of them all together, they all do different patterns. Unfortunately, they are there's no idea of the pattern they make by the name of them. They're literally called light 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is a little irritating. You're going to have to kind of learn which one does. So for instance, number 2 there goes back and forth, next thing, number 3 goes back and forth in a 90 degrees. You know, you have to sort of learn what each one does, but they are really, really nice. Next up, we've got a selection of new signage. Really, really nice stuff. First of all, these ones are all Billboard signages. These are great. That one is a non-lit one that has lights onto it that lights up at night. That's just a plain non-lit one, and then that one's a backlit one. So they're really, really good stuff. I've put an arch down just so I can kind of get an idea of scale here. We have some gorgeous tiny flat signs. Oh my word, they're so good. We also have these awesome sort of safety ones. I'll put that one down twice, never mind. They could be quite useful, I think, for backstage areas probably. You know, radiation, dangerous chemicals, that kind of thing. But yeah, lovely ones. Love this Route 66 style one here as well. So if you're doing like American diners, that kind of thing, going to be very useful for that. Right, brace yourselves for what I'm about to show you. Oh baby, worth the price of the DLC alone if you ask me. We have chain link fencing. Oh my god, it looks so plain and boring. It's amazing. It's ridiculous at how much I am. We also have these really quite nice wooden ones as well. I'm actually thinking, if I can tone the colour down on those a little bit, which I'm sure I can, we may well go back onto Pinewood and replace the ones we've done, because it's going to be such a part count saver, and they actually look really, really smart. So yeah, 2 really, really useful new fences. Okay, next up we have a new section. It's called Vehicles. I don't think it's new, although the Back to the Future stuff is in there now as well, and the other vehicle DLCs we got, but I think it's a new thing on the menu, and it's basically all these fantastic vehicles. So first of all, we have a broken version of the track ride that's come in. And then all of these cars, you'll notice that none of them have wheels. It's because the wheels are separate, and there's about 5 or 6 new types of wheels, which is good. So first of all, we have this really generic loading truck, which is awesome. It's going to save me so many part counts. As much as I love wings and minerals and Uthris vehicles that I've been using, the first thing I'm going to do is go back and replace them all with this. Another nice thing is this one is a billboard, so you can have different billboards side on the side there. We have an awesome bus, more like a coach if you're playing in the UK, I think, but still really nice. And then we have 2 generic style cars. Obviously all these are colourable, so we've got 2 cars, but actually give you multiple of options there because they're colourable. We've also got a police car and a taxi. Obviously you can add the lights to those. Then we have a fire truck, which looks really great. We have a garbage truck, which looks really good as well. And then we have, I think there's 3 helicopters. I haven't placed the police one down there now. There's a generic one, there's this one which is a news one, and there's a police one as well. Again, all of them, they have rotation blades, you know, separate, so you can animate them or not. A SWAT van, a minibus, minivan style thing. We have 3 tanks, that have various, that one's an exploding one there, shooting and things like that. And then we have a modern train carriage, which is really quite nice as well. Like I say, a selection of wheels. They all come in different styles. I'm trying to race through this because there's so much stuff. A few bumpers and things like that. And then also, we have a couple of really cool little bits over here. We have a train that comes crashing in. Great for studio things. Look at that. Really good for like a studio tour setup, I think. We also have this barrel of raging barrels that's going here. And then pretty much all of those vehicles I showed you then also have about 3 or 4 different animations with them. Maybe more in some cases. Oh, I've got a dodgy helicopter over there. It really isn't worth me going over these because there are so many of them. Pretty much every vehicle in the game has different mechanics. So there's one. This one, for instance, is a straightforward one. Here we've got a chase one. So a few of them, the police and the standard cars, chase around a circle. We also have this one, which is awesome. This is a jump. So he comes around and gets to here and then jumps. So you could use it for an actual sort of proper stunt show. Obviously, we've got the helicopters flying around, buses going over. This is only about half the ones I've put down here. I've literally put them down just to show you a rough idea. There's really no point in me going through all of them. Pretty much every vehicle you see there has every one of these animations as well. It's pretty crazy how much new animations we have. Next up is the Miscellaneous section of the scenery, and this is where the pack really comes into its own for my personal opinion. First of all, we have a set of pieces of metal that you can use to make fire escapes on the side of buildings. Then we have loads of stuff that goes alongside the camera crew, sort of different sort of screens to look at, some flight cases, a sort of makeup case, I guess, director's chair, a diffusion board. So that one's not a billboard, that one, by the way. That is just a diffusion board. It's meant for sort of sending light back on itself. It just does what it does. A large clapperboard. It's obviously oversized, better for use for signage, I think. Cardboard boxes, cable. We also have a sort of plain backgroundy type thing, and a freestanding boom arm as well. There are some animatronics that use those. We'll have a look at those in a minute. 3 different cameras, a handheld, one on a dolly and one on a tripod. Loads of sets of newspapers. They look really great. And somewhere they come out of as well, if you're doing some like a city scene, New York type scene. A pallet, which means we can get rid of the pallets we made out of all those hundreds of pieces. Then we have a new range of barrels, each with the signage that comes with the signs over there, and a fire hydrant that you can either have water coming out of or not coming out of, depending on whether or not you turn it on or off. And then over here, we've got loads more goodies as well. A set of pavement pieces that are going to be really nice for edging off areas. 2 different sort of no entry style signs. We have a power generator. Oh, all this stuff that we've built out of art shapes. Basically, it's as if they've watched Pinewood and just like made all the stuff out of it. We have a container, some random sort of boxes. They can be so useful. Traffic cones, trash cans, bags of rubbish. We also have a subway entrance that's going to be really good. You're going to have to do a bit of terrain work, obviously, to get into that. Also, that there is a billboard. You can change that at the top there. Makes it really useful. So you can even have underground pathing, and that could say this way to wherever it is you're going. And there's one on the back as well. That's really good, isn't it? So we have some pieces of train track to go alongside that big train we've got over there. And then finally a water tower. These are actually in 2 pieces. So that top bit there is its own piece, and then the bottom one is its own piece there as well. Lovely stuff. I guess it wouldn't be a movies pack without some special effects. So a lot of these will work in conjunction with animatronics. So this one is meant to be like a cardboard box smashing on the ground. This next one is lovely. Look at this sort of fiery embers to hang around. It's quite a large space to hang around sort of fires. That looks really great. Lovely particle effect that one is. Then we've got some dust blowing constantly. That's quite nice for sort of western area and stuff, I think. There's loads. There's so many. There's some new electronic point-to-point stuff, which is good. A fire hydrant being smashed up there. This one is I don't know what that one is. Oh, that's dust falling as well. Yeah, it's a dust explosion. Some of them are a bit hard to see just on the grass here. This one's nice. Newspapers flapping about, again using some cool particle effects. And then that one's glass breaking. Again, it's one of those ones that you have to kind of wait around for. You get glass landing on the ground. Again, you'd sort of line this up with other explosions and things like that. A set of sort of boxes going off and smashes like that. And again, a few different types of explosions look really good. Then we have these ones falling rubble. There's a singular piece and then a line. They look really good when they go off. There you go, falling rubble there. Good for sort of caves and things like that. And then we have 2 huge explosions. And these are really good. I didn't see these coming. These are called plasma explosions. They're going to be great for sort of fantasy builds and things like that. Love those. Yeah, really nice nice set of new animatronics and special effects. These are neat. New set of coaster doors. We've got ones that slide open in you know, sort of plain fashion. One that lifts up, one that lifts down, and one that swings open. And the good news is these are all billboards. So each of these, I put one on there you can see, each of these you can now kind of make your own doors, whichever sort of style you're struggling with in the game, because obviously there's only a few different types of coaster door. You can now pretty much go and make whichever one you want, as long as you've got an image that you can strap onto them. Really nice stuff. The only other new billboards as well are a little crazy, these ones out of context, but these go with the new ride that we're going to look at in a moment to create some really amazing effects. If you've ridden Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey in Orlando, or wherever else they have them as well, I've been on the Orlando one, these are really good. So I'm going to pause very briefly and show you how these work. So if we go to pick a nice square one, there we go. So you can see here now what happens is as the car comes round, it kind of comes and sits in here as the thing moves, and it gives you this kind of effect. So you put a video, I mean I'm really dodgily doing this, but you put a video on that, gives you some really, really great ideas. You can also have speakers to that one obviously as well. Now I'm going to see, because I feel like there should be more some new videos in this. I don't know where I would find them. Let's have a look. Movie. Because here we go. Pirate Battle. So these have been made by members of the community. There's, wow, Rudy Renkamel's done some. There's loads and loads of them, look. So, Thim V, what are you? Can I play you and have a look? Okay, so here we go. So so these have been made in the game, and they are sort of video. So you go like this, like you see, that's what kind of happens. So as you come through, your thing follows this, and it makes it look as if you're going around the screen. It's difficult to see because it's night time as well. Let's make it it's daytime even. Let's make it dark so we can see them better. And obviously you'll line them up properly, but here you go, you're going like that. Oh wow, and you get this awesome sort of 3D effect. Let's just have a quick look at some of Rudy's ones. So their pirate one's done by Thim V. Rudy's done some awesome space ones, look. Let's come here, keep still. Swing around and see some of the space ones as well. Oh, that's really great stuff. So there's explosions flying through space. Look at that. Oh, really neat. And obviously you can make your own. These are just the ones that come with it. Spooky Tour by Games for Tom has made some. Let's have a look at Spooky Tour. Oh, wow, look at this. So you come in here like this, and you get this awesome effect. Now, obviously you can make your own, make them a bit higher res. These are going to be relatively low res so that they work on more people's PC. There's seems like, oh, there's different resolutions of them actually. There you go. So let's do high res, Spooky Tour 2 high res. Let's have a look at that. Oh wow. Oh, these are so good. What a nice touch. Really nice. And Pixelwares has done some as well. Awesome. That's so nice that they've got Cheeky Billboard high res. Okay, what are you? You're just past the letter T, are you? Yeah, there you go. So you can come in, you can see him. That's really excellent work. So nice that they got members of the community involved in those as well. We'll see those a bit more later on when we look at the ride. But wow, this looks good lit up, doesn't it? All right, next up we have the rides. There are 3 new rides: two track rides, and a flat ride. This is the flat ride, as crazy as it looks. This is the blueprint that comes with the game. So the actual flat ride is very, very thin on the ground when it comes to scenery. This has all been added on. Okay, so what I'm going to do quickly is just come into here and turn it to nighttime. We'll have a little look at this because it definitely looks better at night. In the 1.6 update, you can not have to do that. You can make the track actually go to night when you ride it, which is quite cool. Although I'm not too sure you can do it with this one, actually, thinking about it, because it's not a track ride. But here we go. We're going to get on the ride camera. This is a Tower of Terror style drop tower that features various levels and areas of theming. So here we go. We're going to head up first level. I'm pretty sure this one is themed around a... let's go into the middle a little bit more so we can see what's going on. Into a zombie attack. So here are the zombies on the right. Oh, is he going to... Oh, he's fell out on the left there. That's great. So the actual ride itself is set. It is a track ride, unfortunately. You can... it is a flat ride, sorry. You can suggest... you can select how it lifts up and down. Here and which scenes it shows and things like that. But obviously all of these scenes have been added in with scenery. So these are completely... you know... not fixed. There you go. He's fell into the pallet there. This is really good. I think this is the best ride that they've built as a blueprint. They're usually not great, the ones they build as blueprints, but to be honest with you, they're not here to play the game. They're here to make the game for us. It's up to us to do things like this. Personally, I think what a nice thing would be to do is to give the DLCs 2 content creators maybe a week or so before, and let them come up with some stuff. I think they get loads better results. But this is actually really quite impressive. You can see all the various different levels that it comes to, and eventually we're going to go up to the roof, I think. Here we go. And they're going to try and escape on the roof in the helicopter. And then we have a huge drop down into the basement. And in the basement, all the zombies are here, and they're all coming and having a go. But luckily, the place blows up and wipes them all out. And then we reverse, and there's the ride done. So, unfortunately, yeah, it is a track ride, which means there's only 1 car at once, which means the throughput on that is going to be so low. But to be honest with you, I think people are going to use this more for creating great-looking rides for YouTube, as opposed to actually using it too much in its park. But you can see here, let's just knock it back to daytime briefly. And I can move this out. So there you go. That's what the actual ride looks like when you place it down. So the cars go up here, in. You get a scene where it moves across, and then obviously you can do a few different scenes here where it stops and drops down. It doesn't have to be that long. You can come right up, straight down, and off, whatever you want to do. So really nice. Horror Heights, it's called. Maybe with a little bit more work, they could have made that a track ride and made it a bit more, editable. But I think they've actually implemented that really quite well. The next one is the Studio Lot Tour, or something it's called similar, I guess. This is a studio tour, basically a bus that drives around and shows you different scenes. You can pick where it stops and has a look. There isn't a blueprint for this one, which kind of makes sense because it's not really that kind of ride. It would be like having a blueprint for the train or the monorail, I guess. I think the nicest thing about this for me is that it's really plain. And you're going to be able to use this as just a transport ride as well as a track ride. So I'm definitely going to be sticking this in Pinewood as a way of people getting from the car park down to the actual place itself. I think that's really great. So definitely very usable. I can't wait to see what people do, sort of like studio tour type rides with it as well. And finally we have the Remotion, which is a robotic arm ride similar to Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Again, this is a blueprint, probably not the best real use of this ride, to be honest with you, but they've got to make something that they can plonk down into the game. This ride would pretty much exclusively be completely indoors and use screens and things like that to a much bigger advantage, but still we'll use it to give us an idea of how the ride works. So this is a track of 4 right now. We want seats, there we go. So it's 4 seats along, and each of these 4 seats is on a robotic arm. So it's a little bit like the Huntsman, but you get a lot more movement. Look at the use of the glass there, that looks really good. A lot more movement in it, so rather than just sort of going left and backwards and a little bit of panning and tilting, you can come right up. There you go, as a good example of it. You can come right up, you can see there's a few explosions going on the roof. Look, people flying past your head. So yeah, really great use and showing you how the movement works properly. There's Panic at the Parking Lot, this is called the ride, I think. So and here, this is nice, you can actually pause it if you want to, and you can see the guy getting took out there, unfortunately for him. Some vines over this end. And again, you want, oh, she's gone. One thing you really get in there here, obviously this would be tied into the ride a little bit more, but what you can see is, look at that, it lines up perfectly. So you can get, oh, look at that, so you can get some great stuff in the ride. I mean, this is a temple one, it doesn't really fit. How they've done those, I have no idea. I've got some great ideas for those, though. Another explosion. Again, you've got to try and tie them into the ride a little bit more than they've done here, but just, it's more of a proof of concept here than anything. Oh, wow. Cars come out and got blown up. Really some great use of special effects in these new cars. So what's going to happen here? The coppers are trying to shoot the bad guys. But what is the bad guys? Just lots of smoke. Oh, is it police versus police? Oh, maybe the police are dressed. Maybe the bad guys are dressed as police to try and fool the coppers. That's quite a standard thing in films, isn't it? There you go. So yeah, not the best use of the ride, I think, but it gives you an idea of what it does. Here you can see it in motion. So you'll see here how these line up. This is really good. So it's triggered. Obviously, it pauses there for a moment, and it comes in. The tricky bit here is going to make this line up really. But you can see here that it lines up perfectly. This will start moving as these come in. That gets shot into there, and then it carries on round and shows that screen as they walk past. That is so good. That is so good. Frontier, you have outdone yourselves. That is really, really nicely done. I'm so impressed with that. I can't wait to get in and dive in and use that properly. But there you go. They're the rides. Right then, moving on to building mode. We've got some really interesting things here. Now, obviously, we can, you know, make these sort of things up ourselves, but they kind of give you some pre-made shop fronts and wall fronts and things like that. So these are all individual. This is one piece here. This is one whole piece. Also, you'll notice glass here as well. Now, the glass actually comes as part of the 1.6 update for free, but they've given you, basically, you don't have to do all this sort of stuff yourself if you don't want to. So you can throw some things in there into a shop front. So there's 4 different sets. You get a window on its own, boxed off there, a set of 3, and doors on their own as well. It's really quite nice actually. And then the same sort of set in modern. So again, boxed off windows if you want, or ones that you can go straight through, and doorways. And then the full set that you get with this one is this sort of awesome glossy, high gloss tile that again can obviously be colourable. They put it as standard with like quite a dark colour. And then also you get a set of these modern ones as well. I believe these ones light up at night. Yeah, they glow at night, and a few of the ones over there do as well. So these are the ones that we saw in most of the screenshots that kind of look like windows. These are probably what we were looking at. Then also, very useful bits of scaffolding, lighting rigs and things like that. We've already seen these 2 bits actually there from the Lamppost sets. But those are looking really great there. And then we have a new stucco pillar set as well, which I wasn't really expecting, but that's very nice. It comes in 2 sizes. Super big, and probably the one you're going to use. Okay. Then over here, another couple of random bits and bobs. A explosion panel that goes along with sci-fi. This is animated, so it all gets popped back into play. Look at that, how it all goes back. It looks so good, doesn't it? Boop, boop, boop. As I think about it, bang, and then it goes off. It goes off pretty quick. It's my only slight worry there. And then these are really nice for sort of city builds. These sort of shallow steps up to buildings. You get an end piece there. So the idea is that you would bring that building. Let's just pop out of here. You would bring this one to sort of the edge like that to cap it off. But then you also get interior and exterior modules as well, so you can do cool shapes with them. And then you get this lovely piece on its own as well for going up to buildings, and a nice little pillar as well. Very useful stuff. Nothing major when it comes to roofing. To be honest with you, these sort of city builds would often have flat roofs anyway, so instead you get a couple of nice sets of eaves. So there's this sort of darker one and then a lighter brimstone one. Again, interior and exterior corners, so you can pretty much go around any shape building with both of those. They're nice. To be honest with you, for the most part we make our own, but that one's quite nice actually. I can see myself using that somewhere. Bit of a weird selection of windows and doors as well, to be honest. There's only really 2 new windows. Each of them come with a billboard version, a lit version, and actually, no, that one doesn't come with a smashed one. This one comes with the version that smashes. Again, it can be quite nice for your sort of stunt scenes and things like that. At night time, these look quite nice as well. Just bring that down so you can have a look. You get nice curtains lit up there as well. I wish they'd just go back and do this for all the windows, to be honest with you. Make them so much more useful. We have an elevator door. It's the sort that comes with the new elevator ride, but you can have it on its own as well. And then 3 of the windows that already exist in the game, but they can smash. So again, what made them pick those 3, I don't know, but they're nice to have, I suppose. This huge warehouse door that flicks back and forth, which is actually quite nice. I can see using that on a sort of studio lot. And then last but not least, no, that was last. Wall decorations then. These 2 new shop facades. Don't really know many people that use these, to be honest. So that one's quite nice. That could even work as a fireplace. And then also, this is nice actually. A new overhang. I don't know what you'd even call these. I can't think. But very nice, very useful, very plain. Decent sort of scaling as well from the looks of things. Obviously recolorable, so you're going to be able to use that a lot. And what's interesting here is that we get a corner piece, so we can actually sort of wrap buildings up with this. We can sort of sort of clip all these on together. And last but not least, we're going to look at the new set of people animatronics in the game. A whole load of them. I think something like 127 or something ridiculous, based on about 19 new characters. A really big part of the update this. So first of all, we have a film crew. Nice thing about this though is that they're very generic and they're all colourable as well. Even the skin colour is now colourable on these, which is quite interesting. But you've got a boom operator, a cameraman, a clapperboard, a guy who's just having a bit of a fiddle with whatever you put in front of him, a guy standing idle, and a guy sitting idle. They're really nice. Big change for this time though is that we've got some female animatronics other than that poor witch who was all on her own. Now we have a set of female animatronics, again a boom operator, a camera crew, a lady fiddling there, and the one standing and sitting. I would like to know where my female clapperboard lady is. It's an absolute outrage that females do not get to use a clapperboard in this day and age in video games. But no, these are really great, and again, nice plain costumes and colourable, so they're going to be really useful. And here is where Planet Coaster has pulled out the big guns. We've got some more Archaeologists now, which is quite nice. These probably should have come with the adventure pack, to be fair, but I suppose they're doing stunts and things. So we have Archaeologists. Again, quite plain, though. These you could kind of fit these towards maybe pilgrims, maybe, you know, farmers. Very sort of generic look to them, really, which is nice. Then we have a set of businessmen. Again, these are really generic security guards, you know, changing whatever they look like. Colours are a little off on some of these, to be honest with you, but I think they're meant to be dusty and broken and battered. But again, colour all of these, you can colour them. These are really nice. Set of knights, look at these guys. Ugh, fantastic. Set of knights there doing various things. We have a new pirate doing some stuff, again, sort of sitting and idling for the most part. They all seem to have these basic 5: caring, being thrown backwards, being thrown forwards, standing and sitting. Okay, we have set policemen. Again, colour changeable there, so you can make the costumes look a bit more like policemen you would find in your country. Sci-fi as well, which is pretty good. Some of them have this one, which is quite interesting, a levitating one, which is quite nice. I'm not sure about the insistence of having to have sticks up their arses for all of them, to be honest with you. That levitating one especially, you know, the stick would be at the back there, hidden into a wall if you insist on having a stick. But, you know, I digress. A cowboy. New cowboy there, again, doing all of them. Zombies, there's quite a few different zombies, to be honest with you. I'll just put a few down here. And all of these have a female version as well. Like I say, colours are a bit funky here, but I've just thrown them down. So we have a female businesswoman, which looks pretty good. We have a female archer, a mummy. There's a male mummy as well. I don't think I'll put that one down. Female pirate, female police officer, female sci-fi, and also looking female western. Okay, so all of them, again, they're not just standing. They have all these different animations in both male and female. Also, these ones over here, it took me about 5 minutes to figure out what the hell they did. There you go, you just saw one of them. These things, they're huge. I guess that being so big gives you options, but here you go. Way kaplump. There we go. So they come out of there, so they get thrown or they fall, and again, pretty much all of these have this variation as well. I didn't want to put them all down. So all of the people animatronics have these as well. We have a new animal to go with our animal sets. This time it's a shark in both big and small sizes. Again, these are made for going into water. We have swimming back and forth, jumping out and grabbing, jumping out and having a bit of a kickabout like the old Jaws one used to do, and then a small version and swimming around as well, which is great. And then a couple of little odds and sods that I just found in animatronics that don't really fit into any other departments. We have an awesome dumpster that goes off as people fall into them. A walkway that's breaking, I think that's probably meant to be hanging the other way up. The jetty that's breaking. What I really love that they've done here is they've kind of tied all of these into themes that already exist in the game, which I think is really good. So imagine, right, a pirate scene with the jetties that you've got, but that jetty into the water with this guy coming out and that pirate falling into his mouth. Oh, do you know what? The possibilities are really endless. I can't wait to see some of the stunt shows and studio tours that people do. A manhole that flies off, but to be honest with you, that is going all over my park. Just like that, with the animation turned off. And what does it say? PC Slurger, I guess that's waste maybe or something. And then again, this sort of palette of stuff that again people can fall into. To be honest with you, I'm going to be turning that off and just using it as a palette of stuff. It's awesome. Oh, and then a Dolly Camera that comes out and does a bit bigger thing. This is a really awesome pack. I feel like I've probably missed a few bits, so I'm sorry, but I try and keep these as short as possible. It feels like this has got so much more in it than other packs. I'm not sure it has. I think it's just so much varied stuff and so much usable stuff that it's taken me a little bit longer to get through. Remember, this is a paid DLC, but it does come with a free 1.6 update as well. And that free update includes loads of great features like hotels, glass, some real great quality of life stuff as well. I'll be doing a separate video on those because you know, there's just too much to put in here. If you're still on the fence about buying this and you'd like a chance of winning a copy, I am doing a competition to win a copy of this DLC. If you click the link in the description, that'll take you through to a little competition there. You can have a go at winning it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Look at this mess. Look at the state of this place. What a park. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like. It really does help out the channel. And if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe. Any thoughts, queries, or suggestions, you can pop them down in the comments. And if you fancy a chat, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at John T. Sparrow. If you'd like to join in with the Geekism community, you can do so over on our Geekism Discord server. You'll find the link in the description.